wishing you could check it. Ain't nobody else got money like this. Diamonds on my neck and a new leather print. Fresh mani petty and designer brands. Got a necklace so big I can hardly stand. Everybody knows that I'm fabulous and I'm the baddest chick around. Try to step to this. Come on. F-A-B-U-L-O-U-S. Yes, yes. Diamonds on my neck. Yes, I'm fabulous. Fabulous. What's up? They keep hating on me. I don't stress. What? Don't got time for this. 'Cause I'm fab.
Cast from the shadows, not of my way. Falling, I don't scream yesterday. Your kings and your queens hit the ground like rain. Falling, wild and lions away. One voice of nature, they call my name. I came from tomorrow to take back today. I am the future. Velveteen Dream. Hit it. Velveteen Dream. Velveteen Dream.
Hey everybody, how's it going? Getting ready to start another Monday night show here. As I get adjusted. No audio problems this week, I'm happy to say. And all the matches should be set up like they should. And I got my Ric Flair shirt on. I think we're ready to go. Let's do this. And we got music. Look out. We're going to be live from the Greensboro Coliseum. These fans are ready to go. They're ready to see some action tonight. And I'm ready to call it. Call it like I see it. And the first match we have up tonight on the card is going to be a fatal four-way. We got Sonya Saturn, Sarah Graham, Miss Daddy, and Bulldog Baker. This should be a pretty interesting match. First match of the night to get everybody excited, get everybody pumped up, get the blood flowing. As everybody knows, Sonya Saturn is the current favorite to win the vacant women's title at the up-and-coming Ladies' Night Tournament. Will she be able to win here tonight? See. From the famed Greensboro Coliseum, from the golden days of Mid-Atlantic Wrestling with the Jim Crockett Promotions. There's Sarah Graham coming to the ring now. Still don't know if there's a relation to superstar Billy Graham. But much like the legend, she can hold her own in the ring. That's for sure. Many legendary matches have gone down here in this Coliseum, and by God, at SCCR, there's going to be more. The lights have just gone out. That can only mean Miss Daddy is coming down to the ring. The dominatrix herself, Succubus. Bulldog Baker, brawler from New Jersey. The only thing she knows is fighting. She's had to fight all her life. Here we go. Miss Daddy with the swinging neck breaker. Stomping on Sonya Saturn. Bulldog Baker in the back there, wrenching on that arm. Sonya on the outside, hitting that concrete. Oh. Superstar Sarah Graham turning the tables on Miss Daddy there in the corner. Dog Baker on the outside, coming back in. Sonya Saturn coming back in. Sonya turning her attention to Bulldog Baker. Now back to Superstar Sarah Graham. Bulldog and Miss Daddy are on the outside of the ring. Here comes Miss Daddy. Going after Sonya. Oh. Sonya rocks the chin. Miss Daddy. And Bulldog Baker's going to capitalize on that. Trying to go for the submission there, but Miss Daddy breaks it. Superstar Sarah Graham with the Russian leg sweep from behind. Bulldog Baker tried to go for the kick there, but Sonya Saturn's a little too quick. Now she's going to go for the single leg Boston Crab. Bulldog Baker powered out of it. All four contestants are on the outside now. This is a no count out. So they can be outside the ring as long as they want. Miss Daddy with a couple reversals on Superstar Sarah Graham. Miss Daddy with a reversal of her own. Sonya Saturn with a reversal on Bulldog Baker. Sonya whips Bulldog into the corner. What's she gonna do here? Tosses her down to the mat. Oh, and goes for a springboard backflip. Pretty impressive. Going for a pin. Referee doesn't quite know what to do here. May have to find a new referee. Another Bulldog try to go for the pin, and Miss Daddy's there to break it up. Oh, Sonya Saturn now doing a little dancing. She might want to worry about these 3 other competitors in the ring before she starts shaking that booty. More dancing. Oh, Bulldog Baker coming from behind. And another springboard backflip. Superstar Sarah Graham says, and follows up with a clothesline. Oh, Sonya Saturn going for a pin. Sarah Graham breaks it up. Nice little hip toss from Miss Daddy there. Sonya Saturn grabs Bulldog Baker. Oh, tries to go for the kick, but the Bulldog Baker just using those fighting skills, give her a little roundhouse kick to the face. Oh. Sarah Graham goes for a move from the top rope and collides with Bulldog Baker. Sarah Graham working on the leg of Miss Daddy. She's going to the second rope. What's she looking for here? Oh, axe handle smash from that second rope. Sonya Saturn comes in. Sonya Saturn with another devastating maneuver there. Bulldog Baker back in the ring. It's going to be hard for Sonya Saturn to lock in those rings of Saturn. 3 other competitors in the ring. Go for the pinfall, only a 2 count. I guess the referee finally figured out what to do. Nice little modified backbreaker there from Bulldog. What's Bulldog doing here? Well, this is an interesting hold. Wrenching up on that leg, stretching out that hamstring. But Miss Daddy is not going to tap. Into the corner. Oh, Miss Daddy tosses Bulldog Baker into the turnbuckle there and follows up with a big boot. Shades of Hogan there with the leg drop. A beautiful suplex from Sonya Saturn on Sarah Graham. Miss Daddy with a knee into a power slam. Miss Daddy is showing a lot of power here. Going to the top rope. What's this? Oh, she's going old school. Bulldog Baker is there to break the pin. Miss Daddy's not happy about that. What's this? Oh, more classic Undertaker with the Tombstone Pile Driver. Bulldog Baker was able to kick out of that. Sarah Graham going to the top. Uh-oh. And a flying elbow drop from the top rope. Anytime I see a flying elbow drop from the top rope, it makes me want to say, ooh, yeah. And some knees from Bulldog Baker. Miss Daddy drops Bulldog Baker on that leg. Roll up. Small package from Miss Daddy. Sarah Graham's going to be there to break it up. And Sonya Saturn with a nice head scissors takedown. Probably not the best time to go for a pin there, though, with Sarah Graham standing nearby. Sarah Graham avoids that drop kick. This crowd is going nuts here. They're literally hanging from the rafters for this opening match. Bulldog Baker with a devastating suplex. And another pin break. Bulldog Baker with that running bulldog. Teaming up on Sonya Saturn here. Wrenching on that arm off the top rope. And remember, this is every woman for herself. So teaming up doesn't matter here. There can only be one winner. Oh, double suplex. Oh, here we go. Sonya's got the rings of Saturn locked in. It's over. Miss Daddy tapped. Sarah Graham tried to go for the break, but it didn't work. She was not fast enough. That was an incredible first match there. Nobody has been able to get out of the rings of Saturn as of yet. Nobody. That was an incredible first match of the night. Almost a main event for the curtain jerker there. Next up on the card, we have a tag team match. The Psycho Sisters is going to go up against the team of Sandra Ramos and the Claw. The Psycho Sisters being the bigger, more powerful team. You can't count out San Ramos or the Claw. They've got a lot of fighting experience on their side. That's right, Rings of Saturn from the Great Perry Saturn, Samurai Ghost. Not sure if that's the same move though. I don't remember what the Rings of Saturn, his Rings of Saturn was. If it is the same move, that's a heck of a coincidence, because that sure that wasn't intended. Here comes the Cyclo Sisters making their way to the ring. Physically intimidating and mentally intimidating. Okay, well, then that's a big coincidence. But that's alright. There's nothing wrong with the Rings of Saturn. That's right, Samurai. Perry Saturn was a very good wrestler. Probably still is. I don't know what he's up to these days. Psycho Sisters ready to do some fighting tonight, putting on a show. These are two sisters you don't want to take home to mama. Or maybe you do, I don't know. Depends on what you're into. And here comes Sandra Ramos. Oh, okay, Samurai. Yeah, that seems to be a common theme with the retired wrestlers. But it's a good thing that guys like Chris Jericho and Diamond Dallas Page are there to help him out. A lot of great wrestlers have been lost to drug addiction and whatnot. Now the Claw making her way to the ring to join her teammate. All right, here we go with some classic tag team matchup. The second match of the night here on Monday night. Slap and Tickle. Sandra Ramos, the takedown there. And Black Psychosis pushes Sandra back into the corner with that strength. Back at it again. Referee trying to break it up. From behind. Nice little takedown. To the mat. Classic wrestling move. Black Psychosis. Oh, with a fall-away slam. And a kick to the face. Headbutts. Repeated headbutts to the head. That's probably going to leave a mark. Tried to wrench on that neck, but Sandra was too close to the ropes. Black Psychosis throwing. Sandra was able to make the tag. Here comes the Claw. Rocking Black Psychosis with those drop kicks. Oh, Black Psychosis. A little too strong for the Claw there. Into the corner. Not the corner that Satoru wants to be in, that's for sure. But she kicks her way out of it. Fights her way out of it. Like a cat fighting over a sardine. Snap suplex into a pin. Doesn't even get the 1 count. Here comes White. Big boot. Into a clothesline and another big boot. Putting Satoru down on the mat. Going for the pin. Too early. Sometimes the Psychosis sisters get a little A little too aggressive and go for the pin early. That can be a mistake. Toss into the ropes. White Psychosis. On Satoru. Reverses it into a roll-up pin. And White reverses it into another roll-up. A roll-up of her own. You don't see that often from White Psychosis. Another whip into the turnbuckle. Clothesline. So Taro's trying to go for the pin, and she makes it. Oh, devastating kick to the face and to the leg from Sandra Ramos. White Psychosis goes for the pin after the clothesline, only gets a 1 count. Sandra Ramos with a back suplex. Picking her up. Gives her a knee and a kick to the face. What's she going for here? Dodges the clothesline. Follows up with a flurry of strikes. Going for the pin. Only gets the 2 count. Sandra Ramos going to work on both sisters. Letting those punches and kicks fly as only she can. Those competitors on the outside of the ring. I hear you, Samurai. A lot of people forget that Hogan did do a little wrestling in between the taunting. Another massive knee to the face, and followed up by a kick, putting Black Psychosis down on the mat. And Sandra Ramos might be looking for. Here we go. The sweep kick putting Black Psychosis down, and that'll win it. Those punches and kicks is just too much for the Psycho Sisters. That was a great tag team matchup between the Psycho Sisters and Sandra and the Claw. Next up, we're going to have Boyd Luger, the lone wolf, the biker from San Jose, going against Jack the Reaper. I don't expect to see too many fancy things from these two individuals. I expect to just see a pure slobber knocker. I don't know what that symbol is on the Titantron back there, but somebody's been fucking around with my video feed. Boyd Luger, some would call him a one-man gang. But they would not call him a king. That would be ridiculous. Much like the gimmick. Here comes Jack the Reaper. Jack the Reaper, famous for saying his number, his mark is 667. Because he's more of a threat than Satan himself. Jack the Reaper stepping up to the post there. And he says, "Let there be light." Boyd Luger looking on, ready to go toe to toe with the big man here. And Jack the Reaper is wasting no time. Boyd Luger with a back toss. Landing on the arm of Jack the Reaper. Jack follows up with a dragon screw as he reverses Boyd Luger's attempts. Like I said, this is just going to be a brawl. There's not going to be anything fancy here. Boyd Luger now working on Jack, and Jack answers back, taking Boyd down to the mat. Jack taking a moment, taking a knee, if you will. Jack goes for the early pinfall attempt. Gets 1 count. Boyd Luger isn't ready to go down yet. Wrenching on that neck. Jack able to get up. Follows up with some big punches and a big boot. Jack says it might be over here. Oh, lifts Boyd Luger, who is over 300 pounds, with one hand. Oh, and there's the death sight. Will that be enough to pin Boyd Luger here? Let's see. 2 and 3, it's over. Quick victory from Jack the Reaper. Jack the Reaper taking another knee. Definitely not a man to be messed with. And we're on to the next match of the night. Don Flamenco the Spaniard versus KG Beast from Russia. An international match. Spain versus Russia. It's not a matchup you see very often. But we're going to see who's going to come out on top here. Luscious Don Flamenco from Spain. Very flamboyant wrestler. He's sexy and he knows it. But he also has the moves to back it up. And so does this man getting ready to come out, who is not flamboyant. And he would not be caught calling himself Luscious. KG Beast. From the underbelly of Moscow. KG Beast is known for saying he's the best at what he does. And what he does isn't very nice. And to be honest with you, I don't doubt him. Although, if you'll remember last week in his matchup with Luther, KG Beast walked away. He left the ring and got counted out. Still don't know what's going on there. And KG Beast isn't talking. I tried to ask him about it, and the only thing he said to me was, snitches get stitches. And I said, okay, fair enough. Oh, Don Flamenco leaving the ring. Oh, maybe we'll see the same thing from Don Flamenco. I don't know. KGB says, you're not going anywhere. While these two trade blows on the outside. Back in the ring, KG Beast lifts Don Flamenco up. Deadlift gut wrench suplex. The thing about KG Beast is he's not a big man, but he is a strong man. Don Flamenco, the suplex, belly to back suplex. Tangling up, wrenches on that arm. Doesn't matter how strong your arm is. It doesn't matter how strong you are. If you can't use your arm, you're probably not going to win. KG Beast with the uppercut. Back in the ring now. KG Beast with a tremendous maneuver. Tried to go for the kick to the back, but Don Flamenco a little too fast. Into the corner. Don Flamenco with that spin around Hurricanrana. And working on those arms again. Going for an early pinfall attempt and doesn't even get a 1 count. I see what you're saying there, Samurai. Don Flamenco reminds you of Rick Rude with the awesome body and the flamboyancy. Although Rick Rude was not a very pretty man. From the neck up, a lot of people would say. But he did have an incredible body, that's for sure. Pinfall, 2 count. Flamenco, going for multiple suplex here. Some may call it Suplex City, but I think that city is in Germany. Don Flamenco with a tremendous shooting star press from the top rope. Will that be enough to pin KG Beast? 2. No, just the 2 count. Still trying to work on those arms. KGB says, get off me. And Don Flamenco says, I can't. I gotta win. And goes for a great drop kick there. Tried to go for a spinning kick there, but KG Beast wasn't going to have it. Oh, here we go. KG Beast doing what he does. Don Flamenco able to get out of that stranglehold. Rick Rude did have a pretty good neck breaker for sure. Don Flamenco trying to go for a submission of his own. Wrenching on that arm that he's been working on this whole match. Will it be enough? Nope. KG Beast is not going to give up. Tremendous testicular fortitude. More working on the arm. It's amazing that KG Beast can even lift his arms at this point. Don Flamenco. Oh, here we go. This Suplex City must be in Spain. There must be one in Spain too. Going for the pinfall attempt. And he gets it. He gets the win over KG Beast, which is not easy. With that Spanish Suplex City. Maybe Don Flamenco has come up with something great tonight. I don't know. Luscious Don. Winning. Winning and wanting everybody to know it. And next up on the card, we got Keely Ruiz versus Yuri Yamashita. Keely Ruiz, known as a high flyer, likes to do a lot of high risk maneuvers. And Yuri Yamashita, classic Japanese style, strong style. Known for her devastating punches and kicks and her Incredibly strong legs. I would not be surprised if Yuri Yamashita could crush a man's skull between her legs. Not a woman you want to make angry and go down on, that's for sure. Keith Reeves making her way to the ring. Deja vu. Making her entrance like in a very familiar way. But, you know, creativity has its limits. That's all I can say. There's that fucking symbol again. I don't know what that is. Somebody likes the letter W, I guess. And here comes Yuri. Look at that. That incredibly muscular body. Petite woman. But you can see there's power there. Here we go. Referee calls for the bell. It's 2 lock up. Yuri pushing Keeley into the corner. Referee breaks it up. Clean break. Keeley answers back. Referee has to get in there. One more time. Another clean break. Keeley now puts Yuri on the... takes her down to a knee with just a foot. And Yuri answers back. Pulling on that arm. Yuri with a beautiful suplex. Tosses Keeley out of the ring for some reason. Maybe she wants to do some damage on that concrete floor out there. Grabs her head. Throws her into the steel railing. And then bashes her head into it. That's something you'll definitely feel in the morning. Reversal. Kick to the bread basket from Keeley. Well, what's this? Into the crowd. Yuri tosses Keeley over that steel barricade with just a punch. Keeley here setting up. Going to the top rope. Into the tree of woe. And answers follows up with a back kick. Or a drop kick. Not a back kick. Yuri with a monkey flip. Tosses her back into the corner. Tries to go for another monkey flip. Misses. Hits her knees on that steel turnbuckle. Yuri with an elbow to the bread basket. Yuri saying, come on, let's get this on. Keeley had to take a little breather, but Yuri is not going to have it. She's not going to let her do it. Yuri setting up. Oh, and tosses her face first into the steel steps. Keely tries to throw some kicks at Yuri, but Yuri may be a little more experienced in that area, I think. Back in the ring now. Oh, and Yuri just delivers a nasty blow to the head of Keely as she lies on the mat. And belly to belly suplex. And a tremendous one at that, going for the pinfall. Only gets the 2 count. Yuri taking a moment to celebrate. I don't know if she should be doing that. Keely. An elbow. Into a devastating maneuver. Going to the top rope. What's she doing? Goes into a incredible backflip. Will this be enough? Impressive. Beating Yuri Yamashita in such a quick fashion. What we got here? Keely offering a hand. Yuri shakes it. Good sportsmanship there between these two competitors, who are also in the ladies' night tournament for the vacant women's championship. So even though Sonya Saturn is the favorite, any of these women have a chance to win that belt. And in a tournament, anything can happen. Next match on the card. Diego Phoenix from Mexico against Pappy Bear. Old country boy from Arkansas. Gonna lock up here tonight on Monday night Slap and Tickle. Coming to you live from Greensboro Coliseum once again. A lot of famous matches here from the Jim Crockett era. Ric Flair and Harley Race and Dusty Rhodes and the first few Starcades. We're going to make a little bit of our own history here tonight too. We'll make a little bit of history every night here at SCCR, Southern Classic Championship Wrestling. Here he comes. Diego Phoenix coming to the ring. Classic luchador style. A lot of high risk maneuvers. It'll be interesting to see how that matches up against Pappy Bear tonight. The big man, the big country man from Arkansas. He's from Alabama, not Arkansas. Who gave me these fucking notes? Burn! He's from a state that starts with A. How about that? It's in the South. As Pappy Bear likes to say, he's not here for a long time, but he's here for a good time. No, Samurai, it's in the South, so Alaska would not qualify here. Be interesting though if Pappy Bear was from Alaska. I don't think he could handle the cold temperatures. Diego going to work quickly on Pappy Bear, using his speed to his advantage. Pappy Bear now using his strength to overpower Diego. Brings that back down onto his knee into a backbreaker. Pappy Bear with a clothesline. Another clothesline, sending Diego to the mat. Drops all that weight, that 400 plus pounds of weight on the back of Diego. Diego with a drop kick to the back. Tosses him down to the mat. Locks up that arm. Will Pappy Bear be able to get out of it? Diego lets him go. Stomps on the face. This is an unusual style for Diego. He seems to be trying to go toe-to-toe with Pappy Bear. I don't know how smart that is. Oh, here we go. Oh, he misses it. Lands on the kind of the shoulder there of Pappy Bear. Into the bread basket. Sends him back into the corner. Followed up by another drop kick. Pappy Bear answers back. And tosses him into the turnbuckle. Pappy Bear in the powerbomb position. What's he gonna do? He's going an interesting maneuver there, tossing him into the turnbuckle. Just pulls him away from the corner and tosses him down to the mat. Diego breaking out of that hold. Gets Pappy Bear tangled up trying to go for that pinfall attempt, but Pappy Bear just powered out of it. Pappy Bear with a back toss to the outside. Slams him down, atomic drop. That can damage the legs on that concrete. Can't climb the turnbuckles if you can't use your legs. Well, Pappy Bear with a big right hand. Diego answers with some kicks to the shin. Into that Hurricanrana. Then sending Pappy Bear into the steel post there. Back in the ring now. Pappy Bear reverses whatever Diego was trying to do. Diego comes back into that single leg Boston Crab. Trying to wrench on that big leg of Pappy Bear. Diego just couldn't hold on. Pappy Bear into the ropes. Tosses Diego back with that slingshot. Into a phenomenal DDT. Jake the Snake would be proud of that DDT. Tried to go for the pinfall. Wasn't enough. That could have been the end there. As Jake the Snake would say, whenever somebody asked him what does DDT stand for, he would just answer the end. That's not far from the truth. Pappy Bear into the Country Boy Slam. Going for another pinfall? No. Diego still has some fight left into him after those two tremendous moves from Pappy Bear. Pappy Bear getting a little frustrated with clotheslines into a unexpected kick from Pappy Bear into another DDT. I think Diego may be opened up here. He may be bleeding. And he is. Pappy Bear getting winded. Diego tried to go for the shoulder block, the shoulder charge, and missed it. Misjudged his range. Diego going for the pinfall. Nope. Pappy Bear says no, sir. Here we go now. Into another Country Boy suplex. Or Country Boy slam. That's no suplex. This may be it. And yes, Pappy Bear won. Pappy Bear winded after that match. Trying to keep up with Diego. Another show of sportsmanship here. That seems to be a common theme tonight after the last match. Yeah, that's the great thing about CCR. SCCR, a lot of great sportsmanship. Here at the Greensboro Coliseum. And the next match of the night is the main event. With Mr. America making his debut tonight on Monday Night Slap and Tickle. And I was talking to Mr. America backstage a little while ago, and he told me that he's going to be the new champion. New heavyweight champion of SCCR, which means he has to go through Iron Sloth, man, the myth, the legend. Definitely one of the most dominant wrestlers in the history of wrestling. If Mr. America wants to be champion, he's got his work cut out for him. And I don't think Iron Sloth is gonna give no quarter. Just like he expects no quarter, he's not gonna give any. And it remains to be seen if Mr. America can actually do what he says can be done, or what he wants to do. I don't know. And it's unorthodox for a new guy to come in and shoot for that top spot, but here at SCCR, anything can happen. Will Mr. America win tonight? I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see as we get ready for the main event tonight. Also, I'd like to thank everybody for watching. Everybody that's watching and commenting, Samurai Ghost. Follow the Discord. It's at the bottom. If you look at the bottom of this page, there's a link. It just says Discord. Click on that and join the Discord. And that way you'll get notification if you use Discord whenever I go live. Right now we are scheduled to go live every Monday night at 7 Eastern Time and every Saturday night 7 p.m. This past Saturday was going to be the first Saturday show, but I decided not to do it. I didn't have enough time to get everything together for that show. I mean, really, I haven't even come up with a name for it yet. That's how far behind I am. Hopefully, I'll have it done by this Saturday. I don't know. So that show didn't happen. I'm planning for it to happen this upcoming Saturday. If anybody has suggestions, let me know. Suggestions for a name, logo, any suggestions. For wrestlers, I still need to put more wrestlers on the roster, male or female. Anything that you see tonight that might need to be improved, let me know. I'm always open to suggestions. I'm not closed-minded at all. So, but moving on, we're going to start the main event. See what happens. Mr. America making his debut here in a fantastic fashion. Sending off the sparklers. Wearing the red, white, and blue. Mr. America makes his way into the ring. Will he be able to do what he says he's going to do? That's what we're going to find out tonight. This is a non-title match. So even if he does win, title will not change hands. But when Iron Sloth heard about Mr. America, he had to find out for himself, and that's what we're going to see. Here he comes. As the fans rise to their feet in anticipation of the heavyweight champion. Here he comes with his entourage, his escort. The indomitable Iron Sloth. Iron Sloth, just a beast of a man, standing in that smoke from the sparklers, breathing it in. and out. Just like Gilbert. That's right, Samurai. Unlike Gilbert, Iron Sloth has some wins under his belt. Although Gilbert did have that one win. Broke that losing streak. Here we go. These two going at it furiously. Iron Sloth says, "Get off me. You're not going to do a neck breaker here." Picks him up. Look at this here. Oh! Iron Sloth taking Mr. America for an early ride. As you can tell, I'm speechless. I was not expecting that at all. Mr. America, I guess. Man, he shot his mouth off too soon. He was not ready. Not ready at all. Iron Sloth just handily, quickly defeats Mr. America, taking him for that ride. Jackhammer into the pin. I was expecting the match to be longer than that. Nope. Iron Sloth wasn't having it. And that's what I mean. Anything can happen here at SCCR. Unlike those other guys, these matches are not pre-planned. I don't know what's going to happen. It could be a squash match, just like this one. It could be an upset. Somebody could interfere from the outside, and I would know nothing about it. That was an incredible match. Maybe not a long match, but it was definitely an incredible match. Did not see that coming. And I can almost guarantee you that Mr. America didn't see it coming. Mr. America thought he had a shot at the belt. Iron Sloth was there to say, no, you don't. Not tonight. Not next night. Nowhere. Will Mr. America continue to try? I don't know. If I was Mr. America, I'd hang my hat up. Maybe Find a different job. One where I wouldn't get humiliated in such a fashion. That's what happens. That's what happens when you step in the ring with the heavyweight champion. That's why he's heavyweight champion. And I think it was an appropriate match. Still speechless. That was great. So what did you guys think about it? Show didn't last as long. The show didn't last as long as I thought it would. It didn't last as long as it did last week, without the audio issues and the and no squash match, of course. Your show went pretty quick. Lasted about an hour and a half. Trying to shoot for that 2-hour mark. I don't know if I can increase the matches. That's 7. Nope, 7's the highest. I have to figure that out. But yeah, trying to shoot for that 2-hour mark. Much like the same format as Monday Night Raw. 2 hours. I think it's 2 hours. I know at one point they were doing 4 hours. I think that was back during the Monday Night Wars, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, I don't know how much you can do. Like, at a certain point, you just run out of stuff to do, right? I'm not shooting for 4 hours. That's good, Samurai. You enjoyed it overall. What was your favorite part? I may just spend this next half hour talking to whoever's here. Okay. You enjoyed the Saturn match? That was a good match. That was a random pick by the computer for it to be a fatal 4-way. And I figure a fatal 4-way is a good way to start the show, as they would do in wrestling. They usually put exciting matches first, such as high flyers and handicap matches and things like that, to get people excited. And usually they tone it down in the middle, for when people go to intermission or go get popcorn, go take a tinkle, whatever they need to do. And then you go with the second half of the show. You have a semi-main event and follow it finished by a main event. What we had. So I try to, even though I let the computer pick the matches for the most part, if something's out of place, like for example, if Iron Sloth was mid card or at the beginning of the card, I usually change that because you don't want the heavyweight champion to come out first or even in the middle, unless he's going to do a promo or something. And I don't even know if I'm going to do promos. I don't really like the way they're handled by the game. Although this promo system is supposed to be better than last year's promo system. I don't know. Seems the same to me. But I never cared about the promo system. But yeah, that Fatal 4-Way, again, unexpected. Nobody has ever gotten out of the Rings of Saturn from Sonya in all the matches that I've done with her. Test matches and last Monday, I think she won. So, but Fatal 4-Way, anything can happen. You know, there's 4 competitors in the ring. 1 pinfall or submission is all it takes for the winner to win. So, Sonya had a 25% chance to win. Theoretically, she still came out on top. So, that says a lot. Will she be able to win the tournament? I don't know. As you can see here, I got the SCCR Ladies Night all set up, ready to go for whenever I'm going to do it. Problem is, with the way WWE 2K19 handles the universe mode, which is what I use for the show, you can't create a tournament. You can put pay-per-views in there on Sunday, the last Sundays of the month, but you can't set up any show, even a pay-per-view, to be a tournament like King of the Ring, a bracket tournament. They do have a tournament mode that you can access. Let me grab my controller. From the play menu. Oh, it's all the way at the bottom. It's tournament. You can set up your bracket. But it won't let you do it in universe mode for some strange reason. I don't know why they do it like that. So I think what I'm gonna have to do, well, there's 2 options. Either go with doing it from the play menu. It just won't be in a show format, like with a intro, you know, and all the stuff that happens between matches. But I can set it up to be in the arena that I've got ready for Ladies Night. That's one way to do it. Another way to do it, and actually how they do it for King of the Ring, how WWE does it, or did it for the King of the Ring. They don't do King of the Ring anymore, which is strange. That was one of my favorite pay-per-views. I mean, that's the pay-per-view that brought us Austin 316. That's that whole thing. That great feud between Bret Hart and Jerry the King Lawler started at King of the Ring, the first King of the Ring, which was in 95, I think. 94, 95, somewhere around there. But anyway, I could do it the way they did King of the Ring, where they would have matches, the qualifying matches, on the TV shows. And then once we get to the pay-per-view, then they go through the bracket. But of course, we're not going to have a bracket because you can't do tournament mode. It would just be matches set up. Problem with that, if it only goes up to 7 matches for a show, that's not enough for a bracket. So I don't think that'll work. Because the first round of a bracket, or the first round of this bracket anyway, when they have for tournament mode, there's 8 positions. Go down to 4 competitors, and then 2 competitors, and then the winner. So if they, I don't know if you can have more matches on a pay-per-view or not. Actually, I can take a look. We got time to kill. Oh. Edit. Edit. Maybe you can say. Why does Samoa Joe look like he just got the snap? I don't know. Talking about on the main screen? Never really paid attention. Let's see if we can find him. There he was. Tickle. And what does the snap mean? Is that cool kid lingo that I'm not familiar with? I'm an old man. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, the snap. Yeah, that's just the effect they have on the main screen that they have for all of them. The great thing about WWE 2K19 over 2K18. Yeah, that's just the effect they have for the wrestlers that show up on the main screen there. But yeah, 2K19 over 2K18. The great thing I like about it is the load times. Load times are much better. What makes it a lot less tedious to create things. The load times to make videos, though, for like entrances still takes a long time because it has to process all those videos. I don't know if it's doing encoding or decoding or whatever. I wish that was faster. That's why I don't have a whole lot of like custom intro screens and movies and stuff like that. Like, because you got to go through everything, see what it is, and there's a bunch of different scenes you can create. You can even take highlights from matches and use those in a custom video. But every time you look at a new scene, it has to load it. You're talking like 20 different scenes for certain like victories, and they have a scene where you can have two wrestlers cutting a promo on each other, and then they have different options for different positions. But it has to load each one every time you change it. I ain't got that kind of time. I'm a busy man. I got other video games to play. No Mercy and Here Comes the Pain will always be the two best wrestling games. I've heard a lot of people say that No Mercy is the best wrestling video game to come out. And that one was on Nintendo 64, right? Because I never played that one. I didn't have a Nintendo 64, unfortunately, so I missed a lot of good games. Zelda games, the Mario games, first Smash Brothers, I think came out on 64. GoldenEye, I never got a chance to play GoldenEye. Just didn't have an N64. I had a PlayStation. So I got to play some good games. PlayStation, but I missed the games on N64. But a lot of people say No Mercy was the best. Here Comes the Pain. That was the one with Brock Lesnar on the cover, right? On PS2. I played that one. And all those SmackDown games, well, Here Comes the Pain. Whatever the other ones were. It's been a long time since I played those games, but whatever they were. Who made those? THQ. Well, that was the publisher. Uke was the developer. Yeah. SmackDown, Shut Your Mouth. Yeah, but anyways, all those games that were on PlayStation 2, I played those. I had a PlayStation 2, so I was able to play them. and they were good. They were different from what had been done by Acclaim. Yeah, you made the SmackDown games. You taped the commercial for it. I don't remember what the commercial was. I know one of them. The commercial for it was Kurt Angle. The whole hotel scene where all the wrestlers are in the hotel causing a ruckus. I don't know which one that was, but I've seen that commercial. Is that the same one, or is that a different one? That was SmackDown 2. So that was so the first game in that series. This is after Uke and THQ took over. First game was SmackDown, of course. That one I did not play. That came out on the first PlayStation. Then Know Your Role came out, and that one came out on the first PlayStation 2. So I don't think I played that. I didn't play any of the ones on PlayStation. The PlayStation 2 I played, which the first one was Just Bring It. So I played that one, and then Here Comes the Pain, I think, came after that. No, Shut Your Mouth came after that. And then Here Comes the Pain. Yeah. So many different wrestling games. It's ridiculous. Can't keep them straight. There used to be so many different wrestling games, especially when WCW was in the mix. It came out when you're in the 8th grade. Yeah, same. Because we're in the same grade. You're the same age as me, man. Getting old, brother. But anyway, what I was talking about, yeah. So the SmackDown games were different in a good way from what I think the current wrestling game come from what Acclaim did on the PlayStation with I think it was Raw and Warzone back during the Attitude Era. But no, Stone Cold was on the cover of Warzone, I think. I don't know about Raw, but I had both of those games, and those were the first games. Well, I was going to say they were the first games where you could create a wrestler, but they weren't. No, you could create a wrestler back on the NES in King of the Ring, I think it was. Now, of course, it wasn't as in depth. It was basically it was a generic looking wrestler. He had on trunks, brown trunks, and the only customization you could do is naming him. But you could take that character and put him in the matches against the other guys like Bret Hart, and I think Lex Luger was in it as the narcissist back when he was the narcissist Lex Luger. I can't remember who else was in the game, but that was the first time you could actually quote create a wrestler in a wrestling game, as far as I know. But no, I mean like in-depth creation, customizing outfits, moves, even though it was limited. Because when Raw came out on PlayStation, the only way you could customize the moveset was assigning an existing wrestler's moveset to them. The whole moveset, you couldn't change individual moves. You know, if you gave him Stone Cold's moveset, he did all of Stone Cold's moves, including Stunner and all that stuff. Didn't change anything individually. But that was the first time I was impressed by a creative wrestler system. And then when Warzone came out, they went further and you could actually customize individual moves, music, the entrance system still hadn't really come into play yet, so you could only have pre-created entrances. But it was a lot more in depth. And then they came out with the SmackDown games. I don't remember if you could customize the entrances for SmackDown. It's been a while. But I remember playing, one of my friends had a Nintendo 64, and he had a wrestling game on it. I can't remember which one. It might have been No Mercy, so maybe I have played it. I don't know. A long time ago. And you could actually edit the entrances. And I was blown away by that. I was like, whoa. You can edit the entrances? And you can come up with pyro, how they walk out to the ring, much like they do now. Of course, it's a little bit more in depth now. But when I first saw it, you know, they hadn't had anything like it. Like, man, this is super cool because not only can you create the wrestler and his moveset and all that jazz, but now you can customize entrances, which is a big thing in wrestling. One of the main things in wrestling. One of the things I enjoy about wrestling is the entrances, you know, not just the matches. Some of the greatest entrances in the world or in history of wrestling are enough to get you excited for a match. You know, there's just some wrestlers just have a certain type of entrance. You're just like, oh, here we go. This is it, boys. This is the match to watch. And you know, DDP's entrance. What was that? DDP. DDP. That's how it started. Self high five. Yeah, DDP was entrance was pretty good. He come out. And of course, he had his little diamond sign and do the bang. That was a good one. But analyzing entrances, what I was going to say, I analyzed entrances. I thought about it, you know. And you know you're a true wrestling fan when you analyze stuff like this. Yeah. What makes a good entrance? And I thought about all the great entrances. Ones that got the fans excited on TV. And the ones that got me excited. And music's part of it. You're right, Samurai. Music is part of it. But the important part of that music is that first few seconds. And in wrestling, they have a term called pop. And that's the pop is when you get a huge reaction from the crowd, you know, regarding something you've done. Same thing with entrance music. If it has that pop at the beginning, where as soon as somebody hears it, they're like, oh, here he comes, or here she comes. DDP is a great example. Stone Cold Steve Austin. When that glass breaks, you know what's getting ready to happen. You can't confuse it for anything else. When that glass breaks, you know Stone Cold is getting ready to do something. He's going to either walk to the ring, doing the BMF walk. He's going to drive to the ring in a beer truck or something. You know something's going to happen. It's that initial pop. That's what hit me. That's what great entrances are made of. Undertaker, the bells ringing. When you hear those bells and the lights go out, you know what's going to happen. Hulk Hogan. A lot of people like to make fun of Hulk Hogan, but you know, Hogan, he wasn't a great wrestler. He would probably admit it himself, or maybe he wouldn't. Who knows? I don't know if anybody's ever asked him. But that's not what he was about. That wasn't his job. And what people don't realize was Hogan's job wasn't to be a great wrestler. His job was to be an iconic wrestler. His job was to, in the 80s, when wrestling really blew up, his job was to get wrestling, specifically the WWE, then the WWF, international, on an international scale. Well, national in the beginning and then international. That was Vince McMahon's goal. And he saw Hogan as a way to do that with his charisma and the way fans reacted to him. And it worked. Just worked. You know, when you watch a Hogan match, you might see an atomic drop, maybe a bulldog, but you know you're going to at least see a big boot, punches, Hulk up, and a leg drop. You already know it. But his job was what came before and after the matches, not during. What's my favorite championship? What's my favorite championship? It's a good question. I know. I can answer it definitively. My favorite championship would have to be the NWA Heavyweight Championship. Because that was the championship, in my opinion, that was the championship belt that made championship belts mean something. Whether it was Harley Race or Ric Flair or Dusty Rhodes who held it, it meant something. Because that was back in the days of the territories. So each territory had their own championship, their own roster, and the people in those areas were only familiar with that talent. But the NWA Championship is national. Everybody knew who the NWA champion was. And the NWA champion didn't stay in one territory. He would go around to all the territories to defend the belt. Usually against whoever held the territorial belt. And that gave it significance. Because that said, the person who holds this belt is the best. They earned it. They're beating all these other champions around the country. Everybody knows who they are. Which made it important. These days, and I can tell you right now, I don't like the current state of wrestling. I haven't liked the state of wrestling since the Attitude Era, to be honest. After the Monday Night Wars ended, I was pretty much unimpressed by anything they really ever did. And that could be just because I stopped watching it. Maybe I missed some things. I know I missed the whole CM Punk thing, which a lot of people like. Trying to think of some other things. I can't really think of anything, but yeah, I've missed some things. But you know, honestly, before all that, every night was historical. Every night had something to look forward to. As opposed to now, if you get lucky, you might see something. But I say that to say that because of the current state of wrestling, and the internet is to blame too. You know, everybody's on the internet. Everybody has information at the tips of their fingers, which hurts wrestling. Because in order to watch wrestling, you have to suspend belief in order to enjoy it. A lot of people say wrestling's fake. I'll never say wrestling's fake. Is it predetermined? Sure. But can't, you know, when you're doing a suplex off top rope, a superplex, you can't predetermine how somebody's going to land. It's going to hurt. Regardless of how you land. I've never been superplexed, but I have fallen on my back. Not always fun. That's why you have to love wrestling. You have to love everything about wrestling to be a wrestler, including getting hurt, landing on your back, you know, which they call taking a bump. Yeah, I've heard Stone Cold say he loved taking bumps. He said it might not have felt good, but he just loved it. And those are the type of people that become wrestlers. The people that become wrestling fans are the ones that like wrestling, but they don't want to take a bump. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I could take a bump these days. Maybe when I was younger. But I digress. Keep going off on tangents. The championship belt these days means nothing. Partly because, unlike with the NWA championship, there's really nothing to qualify whoever holds it. You know, yeah, they might win a match to get the belt. Okay. They might defend it a few times. I mean, like, I don't even know who the current champion is in WWE. I know it was Brock Lesnar for a long time. And I would imagine they let Brock Lesnar have that belt for a long time to give it legitimacy. You know, because Brock Lesnar, decent wrestler, intimidating man, very muscular. Not very charismatic, but that's what he has Paul Heyman for. That's why he has Paul Heyman. If anybody ever wondered. Yeah, but anyway, it's just there's no legitimacy behind it. How do you get legitimacy back to the belt with the internet? Because it's not going away and all this. I don't know. Same, Samurai. Current state of wrestling is not good. And a lot of people would agree with that. Even wrestlers. Even some of the superstars are like, man, wrestling sucks. But they still want to get paid, right? They keep doing it. A lot of people say it's because of Triple H. He took it when he became COO. Some people say it's because Vince is out of touch. I don't think it has anything to do with that. United States Championship. Amazing wrestlers held it and had some amazing matches. And they gave it to Cena well after he held his WWE Championship. He made it even better when he was a mid-carder holding the title. I could see that. United States Championship, there was some good matches for it. Some great wrestlers have held it. The problem I have with the United States Championship, though, is what is its purpose, right? When you also have the Intercontinental Championship, you know. In my opinion, I mean, I know the Intercontinental Championship is supposed to be the number 2 man, you know, somebody that isn't quite ready to be the main champion, but they still put on good matches. Guys like Macho Man. Although Macho Man, you can't say he's never ready to be a heavyweight champion. That's the business. But that's my question about the United States Championship. Like, what is its purpose if you have the Intercontinental Championship? Which the Intercontinental, speaking of which, the Intercontinental Championship being my second favorite belt. It wasn't the main belt, but whoever held it was always a great performer. Working their way towards the main belt. And it looked cool too. Especially when it was, I think that at one time it had a white strap instead of black. Okay. So the United States Championship came from WCW. And that was their mid card belt. And WWE just incorporated it, so to speak. Or is that or are you saying, okay, so you're saying between Raw and SmackDown, Raw's the Intercontinental, their mid card is Intercontinental, and SmackDown is the United States Champion? Is that the way it works? Okay. Okay, that makes more sense. I forgot that there's two different brands. That's how out of touch with wrestling I am. That makes more sense. Which is interesting, or smart. Not just interesting, it's smart, because essentially WWE at this point is only competing with themselves. Raw versus SmackDown. And there's no better competition to have than yourself. Especially in business. But yeah. United States Championship is a good one. As well as the Intercontinental. They serve the same purpose. I can tell you what my least favorite championship is. I believe. That would have to be back during the Attitude Era. The Hardcore Championship. And that's because I've never really been a big fan of that hardcore style of wrestling. Yeah, there's been some great matches with Terry Funk and Mick Foley and all those hardcore guys. But when they incorporated it into WWE and they came up with that 24/7 rule, or whatever they called it at that time, where you could attack somebody anywhere at any time to get the belt, I thought it was a little silly, to be honest. And it looked stupid too. I mean, it was hardcore, so I guess it being broken and all this other stuff is hardcore, but I didn't really dig it. Steve Blackman and Crash Holly made it entertaining. I can see that. Steve Blackman was a great wrestler. Um, Probably in America anyway, one of the first wrestlers to start using the strong style that's so popular now. I've never really seen a whole lot of Crash Holly's matches. He really wasn't one of my favorite wrestlers. Neither was Bob Holly. I think Bob Holly, as a wrestler and as a real person, is an asshole. A lot of people have agreed with that. And I think Bob Holly is the one that him and Al Snow were the main ones that would go after that belt. That's why they started calling him Hardcore Holly. Bob Holly is an asshole. He sandbagged Brock on purpose and got dropped on his head for it. Good. Good. he, he deserved it for a lot of things, actually. I haven't seen it. No, I didn't see that. The main thing I saw about Bob Holly that made me have a distaste for him was the episode of Tough Enough he was on, and he had a little match or something, a little training session with one of the guys, and he just fucked him up. Just fucked him up. This guy who wants to get in the wrestling business, whatever his reason was, new kid, didn't know anything, still learning because that's what Tough Enough was about. And Bob Holly just gets in there, tosses him around, smacks him around, delivering real blows, to teach him a lesson. And I'm like, what the fuck is the point of that? Like, why even do that? Like, I get you want to see if somebody is made for the business, but man, you know. But what was really bad about it was he was a dick about it. He wasn't even like, man, sorry I fucked you up. I just wanted to see if you were tough enough, Nah, he's a dick about it. That's what gave me a distaste. Brock was going to powerbomb him, and he sandbagged. So Brock dropped him on his head and broke his neck. Yep. Yep. I didn't see that, but that's. I'm not going to say Brock did the right thing, but if you're going to go in the ring as a wrestler, as a professional, you want to do it right. And if you mess up somebody else's move and you get messed up in the process, that's your fault. So Brock tried to powerbomb him, and Bob Holly, basically became dead weight because he didn't want to get powerbombed, or what was he trying to do there? He didn't help Brock lift, so Brock let him go midair. I don't blame him. I don't blame Brock. I don't blame Brock at all. I mean, Brock may not even meant to do it. It was just Bob Holly trying to mess him up, you know, and messed himself up in the process. Oh, so Bob Holly was famous for messing up new wrestlers. And that makes sense. That makes sense. He seems, I mean, you know, what he did to that guy on Tough Enough, I guess, I guess, exactly. His job as, Bob Holly's job as the more experienced talent in the ring is to put somebody over, not bury them. You know, make it to where they botch a match. Not just for that wrestler or for himself, but for wrestling as a whole. You don't get anything out of messing somebody up in the ring, because that messes it up for everybody. You know, a fan watching that is going to be like, these guys suck. They're not going to be like, oh, Bob Holly's fucking sandbagging again. No. They're going to be like, these guys can't wrestle. So I've never liked Bob Holly. And because of the, you know, the whole Brock Lesnar incident was just another thing to substantiate my position on him. Even when he debuted in the WWF, now the WWE, as what the fuck was he called? As Bob Sparkplug Holly, the race car driver. I didn't like him. I was like, what? Yeah, I was a kid at the time. I watched wrestling every Monday, every Saturday, whenever it was on. And when he debuted, I was not impressed. Maybe it was the gimmick. Well, now looking back, it was just him. But, you know, never been a fan of him. But what I was going to say, maybe I guess he took it upon himself become a guardian of the business and break these new guys in by being a dick. That's not the way you do it. And I think the best way, and I watch a lot of shoot interviews too on YouTube. Yeah, you're right, Samurai. Triple H and Cena are good for putting people over, especially Cena. I think a lot of people don't like John Cena. And I wouldn't say he's a favorite of mine. He's not. But as a person, he seems to be a decent person. And he seems to be the type that not only wants to make himself look good, as everybody does, but he also wants other people to look good too. That's what makes a good match. Both people looking good. Whether you're a babyface or a heel, if both people look good in what they're doing, then the fans are going to be behind it. And today, that's why the product just isn't good anymore, because the wrestlers, and this is going back to what I was talking about a little while ago before I started digressing again. The wrestlers, it's not Vince, it's not Triple H, it's the wrestlers themselves that are messing with the product. And it's because they're selfish. Nobody's taught them what a real wrestling match should be. Which is a shame, because there's a lot of people, especially in the WWE, that should be teaching them that. But yet they're allowed to go out there night after night and be only concerned with making themselves look good. I was listening to something. It might have been a podcast, a wrestling podcast. And somebody was talking about the current state of mind of today's wrestlers. And he said that he's heard some say, as long as I get my shit in, that's what matters. That's what they said. As long as they get their shit in. That's what today's wrestling is all about. As long as I can get my finish in. As long as I can get my big move in. As long as I can get my taunt in. Or whatever. It's not about the match. It's not about the story. It's about getting their shit in. That's why today's wrestling sucks. And I hope there's some big wrestlers watching this. I hope Vince McMahon is watching this. Vince, this is what's going on, man. You're out of touch. Get in there and do something about it. This isn't how you started the company. Don't end it like that. I only wish Vince McMahon was watching. That'd be great. Smash that follow button, Vince. But anyway. But yeah, that's the perfect example of what's wrong with wrestling. And when you watch it, you can see it. They're worried about getting their shit in. They're going 1,000,000 miles per hour. But they're not telling a story. They're just jumping around the ring. Doing a bunch of high spots. Doing a bunch of big moves. I mean, all that's great. It looks impressive. But if the fan doesn't care about it, if the fan doesn't care about the two people or however many people in the ring, it's not gonna matter. If there's no story, you know. When I watch wrestling, I look for a story. That was what was great about guys like Stone Cold and you know, some of the feuds that happened back in the day. There was a story. The Montreal Screwjob, Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart building up to that. There was a story there. And what made it even better was it was real. They really didn't like each other back then. They've kind of buried the hatchet now. But back then, boy, they didn't like each other. Bret Hart didn't like Shawn Michaels because he thought he was selfish and immature, too immature to hold the belt. And Shawn Michaels didn't like Bret Hart because he thought he was stuck up. Thought he was took himself too seriously, which Bret Hart does. He does take himself very seriously. He takes wrestling very seriously, but that doesn't diminish his performance. That makes it better because that's why he's, in my opinion, the best technical wrestler ever, because he took it so seriously. You know, he probably, you know, especially being in the Hart family, Stu Hart being his father, starting out in the dungeon, the Hart dungeon. You know, he's probably practiced wrestling moves a million times coming up. And even when he was a big star, still practicing. That's why he's so good and technically sound, because he took himself seriously. And Shawn Michaels is a great wrestler too, don't get me wrong. But my main point was there was real heat there, and that's what made it exciting. There was a story there. That's what made it exciting. There's no stories anymore. It's all about how high can I jump off this top turnbuckle, and that doesn't. That's not enough. It's about the story. But what I was going into with that is what would make wrestling better, in my opinion, is some of these old guys coming and saying, "Look, stop it. You're not. This isn't wrestling. This is. I mean, they call it sports entertainment now, and you know that's their justification. But no, at its heart, it's always going to be professional wrestling, right? But these old guys should come and be like, you know, this is how you do it. This is how you tell a story. Yeah, you can do a backflip off the top rope. Great. Why are you doing that backflip off the top rope? Here's some good reasons. And I don't know what I mean. I guess maybe I don't. You know, some of them try to do it, and the new guys just don't listen. I mean, that probably goes on all the time. I don't know. And I don't know. But anyway, at this point, the main roster, like Raw and SmackDown, they're doing all that stuff. But then you've got NXT and the women's division doing all these great things. which as far as current stuff, I'll watch those. I'll watch NXT. I'll watch the women's division because they're doing great things. They're telling stories. Not only are they good athletes, but they're also trying to tell stories. And anyway, that's where I'm on current wrestling. That's one of the main reasons I came out with this. I wanted to start doing this because I'm trying to do everything that I miss about wrestling with SCCR. I've always wanted to call matches. Watching guys like Gorilla Monsoon and of course JR, Gordon Sully from back in the day. I've always wanted to call matches. I used to want to be a wrestler, but I figure this here, WWE 2K19 and calling matches is easier than me going out there and trying to be a wrestler. And I probably won't get hurt doing this. But anyway. So for Saturday, and then we'll finish this stream. As we can see here, this is the screen where I can go in and edit the shows. And Saturday, so that's what I have for Saturday's show. Right now it's just a placeholder. I thought about calling it Sweaty Fisticuffs, but I don't know. I'm kinda not feeling that right now. Then I thought it would be interesting to have a division like NXT, where new talent can go and work their way up to the roster of Slap and Tickle, or another show if I create another major show, which I might. Not anytime, not yet, because I'm already having enough time just keeping up with these. But at some point, I may put one, probably on Thursday. As a second brand. But then I would have to have two main rosters, and right now I barely have one. So of course it's going to take me a moment to get to that. But I thought about Saturday doing developmental type thing and calling it New Blood, something like that, and basically set up like NXT. They have their championships. And then from there they work their way up to the main roster somehow. Maybe there could be a pay-per-view for that. That would be interesting. Like maybe they go in there, they go into the pay-per-view. If they win, they move on to the main roster. But that means not only do I have to come up with a roster for the Saturday show, of new guys, I got to keep coming up with people as they move on. That's a lot of work. That's a lot of work. It takes about 2 hours to create a wrestler, give or take. It is very much an art to creating a wrestler, especially with as in depth as it is now. You know, I try not to. Of course, looking at some of the wrestlers, you can tell they were inspired by existing wrestlers. And then there's some of them that are completely original that just come off the top of my head. That stuff takes time. If I gotta, I don't know. Same Samurai Ghost. Oh, it goes straight to the creator wrestler. Not just wrestling games, but any game that allows you to create a character with boxing or, RPG, you name it. Straight to creating something. That's always what I like to do. Still do. But it takes time. Especially with this system they have now. And I try to make all of them unique and have some type of theme. Eventually I just start, running out of ideas, and then that's when you have people coming out to Lita's music and entrance movie and all of it. Didn't change a thing. I just went to the entrance creation and said, here, you're Lita. But it works. It actually works well for that particular wrestler that I did it on. But anyway, yeah, so Samurai, I guess you're the only one in chat. Any ideas for Saturday? How do you feel about the developmental idea? Or do you think it should be like a minor show, like Sunday Night Heat, or Shotgun Saturday, like something like that? So you think it should be like Sunday Night Heat, just a minor show? Hmm. Some lower cards, yeah. I guess that could work. Something for the lower card guys to work their way up to maybe mid card. And then working their way up from there if they can. That was my original idea. That's what it was just going to be a minor show. Then I started going into the developmental idea, but I think that might be too much work for just one person. Right. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you're right. It's they were minor shows and developmental were basically the same ideas. They didn't have like a separate roster, more or less. I think minor show would be a better idea. I mean, I still need to create more wrestlers, so I can't avoid that. But I think it'd be a lot easier than actually having a separate roster at this point. I don't think I'm gonna call it sweaty fisticuffs. I don't. It's just it sounded good at the time. Doesn't sound good anymore. Any ideas there? Take off sweaty. Take off sweaty. Saturday night. Or take off sweaty Saturday. Oh, take off sweaty, the word. Just have it fisticuffs. Oh, I see. Okay. Because I was like, take off sweaty. I was trying to figure out what are we taking off that's sweaty. But yeah, no, take sweaty, the word off. Have Saturday night fisticuffs or fisticuffs Saturday. Fisticuffs Saturday sounds good. That rolls off the tongues. Or tongue. I like that. You like it? I think that's what it'll be. It'll be Fisticuffs Saturday. That'll be Saturday's show. Now I just need to actually create the show, come up with a logo, and create some lower card guys. Which I have until Saturday to do it, so as long as nothing comes up, I should have enough time to do it. I'm just sitting here looking off into space, brainstorming already. What I may do, because a lot of people say that in order to. Oh, you gotta go? Alright, Samurai. Appreciate you stopping by, man. You have a good night. But I'm end the stream here because we're at the 3 hour mark. About what I like to shoot for. But I may do another stream before Saturday of me creating the show for Saturday. I think that would be interesting. We'll see. We'll see. Anyway, this is for anybody who's still watching or will watch the pre-record, the video that gets recorded. Smash that follow button. Join the Discord for updates and whatnot, and to join the community. And something else I wanted to say. I'm having a brain fart. Oh! It was a great show tonight. I enjoyed myself. Hope if everybody who watches this enjoys it. Great matches. That main event, my mind is still blown about that. That's what makes good wrestling. I didn't know that. I didn't know that was going to happen. I figured that Iron Sloth may win just because he's the champion, but I didn't know he was going to do it in that fashion. So that was great. That's the type of stuff that will keep people tuning in, and I hope people keep tuning into this. And I'm gonna go ahead and end this stream. Appreciate everybody coming out. Appreciate people watching this after the fact. And I'll catch you guys later. Good night and God bless.